So I'm Daria Cybulska. I'm head of programs at Wikimedia UK, which is a charity that supports Wikipedia. We run partnerships and support volunteers, but it's not the same as Wikipedia, which is this project online. And I'll try to give you some insight into the Wikipedia editor community, who I'm thinking of as the maintainers of knowledge in this context, and some tensions within the community, and a bit of insight into the future of Wikipedia. So Wikipedia is this interesting connection of processes, technology, and the community of editors, of volunteers. And I guess the important thing is that anyone can edit, so anyone could go on Wikipedia and tinker with it. Is there anybody here that edits Wikipedia or has tried editing? This is more than I thought, so I can't lie anymore. Anyway, I hope this will still be interesting to you. So I wanted to give you an insight. For those who don't know, there is 300 language versions of Wikipedia. So there is English, but there's also loads more, and each of those has kind of its own community. And I would say globally there is about 100,000 editors who do a little bit of editing every month, and then a much smaller group that I'll mention in a sec that is kind of much more involved. Now, I didn't expect there to be so many Wikipedians here, so maybe you won't identify with this, but just kind of thinking briefly about why people edit. A lot of people are just driven by wanting to share their knowledge or share other people's knowledge onto Wikipedia. Or within the project, all of your contributions, the stats, the things that you've done, is all captured. So the social standing kind of within the community is very important, and that's what motivates a lot of people. Many people just like plugging the gaps of knowledge, so write about the things that are missing. And I think there's also this kind of very deep motivation of restoring the world order, kind of categorize things, capture everything, and I'll show you what I mean. So the community itself is very organized. This is there's a lot kind of behind the scenes of Wikipedia that people, well, maybe you know, but a lot of people don't know, where there is projects, people self-organize. All of this is open, it's not closed anywhere, you can Google that and find it. So this is a community of people that do medicine. They have their resources, they organize their tasks, have things that they want to do. There is just so much that's organized, and people are very, very organized on Wikipedia. And as an example, this is a bunch of different screenshots. So this is a page, and I do encourage you to explore lists of lists. So there is pages on Wikipedia that are lists of things, and then they're gathered into lists, and this is the list of those things. And I draw your attention to the fact that this list is incomplete. Yeah. So it means more. And there is loads more. There's maybe, I had to cut it off, there's maybe twice the amount of stuff. And then miscellanea, there is different lists. Very interesting. And one of those, for example, is a list of fictional detective teams. Who knew? So it's extremely organized, and people are driven by this kind of need to organize and capture the sum of human knowledge, and that's what motivates the people that are kind of generating the knowledge for Wikipedia. But there is potentially a problem in that English Wikipedia started in 2001, and it kind of hit the peak of the kind of speed of creating new articles around 2006, so quite a while ago. And so what the this means is that we're kind of, in some ways, nearing the completeness of the content. So as people were kind of originally maybe motivated by plugging gaps and being authors of new articles, it's sort of, that motivation kind of decreases because there is kind of more and more content that's already been written about, and it sort of correlates with the somewhat decrease of the regular editors on the site. I don't know if you know this, but there are fewer people now that maintain Wikipedia, especially the English version. And so the people who have originally been involved in creating and kind of having the excitement of this new project are now kind of concerned with preserving and keeping the content that's already been written about, if that makes sense. So they've come up with a Wikipedia solution to that. So a lot of rules, because the existing community kind of felt that we need to protect what we already have. And there is this kind of problem that I think a lot of people have reflected on already, that maintainers are kind of getting tired of keeping the quality of Wikipedia and protecting the articles, because as many of you know, anybody can go on and tinker and edit a page, which means that we need to protect what we have already and create a lot of rules. So here you can see a list of policies and guidelines, and this is another example. It's actually a policy about how to write policies on Wikipedia, and all of this again is open. Is kind of you can Google those pages and see what sort of stuff goes on behind the scenes of Wikipedia, really. When the editors are thinking about maintaining the knowledge that we already have. So there's a lot of rules. There's also kind of a hierarchy of editors, and there are people who kind of have more administrator rights, and all of that hierarchy kind of grew out of a very egalitarian community at first. So we have this kind of community which is extremely self-motivated, but doesn't really grow, as I've shown you the data just before. However, so this is a very broad topic, and there's a lot of research, and I could talk more about this, but I'm just gonna give that thought to you and throw in a little bit of hope, because what's also happening on Wikipedia is that there is a lot of automation going on. And there's a lot of robots that do content checking or even content creation. I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but if you've ever tried to vandalize a page, especially in an obvious way, like swear words, or I don't want to give you ideas, but if you tried that, often what happens is that it gets corrected quite quickly because it's actually kind of bots programmed by editors that do that rather than actual people. There is also a bit of data work in the background that also automates and gives and kind of takes pressure off editors. So it's not all doomed, I suppose. The other thing I wanted to throw in to kind of make you think of is the fact that Wikipedia has growing ambitions. It's been going on for 17 years. And it's currently actually going through a strategy process, kind of like teenage soul-searching moment where we're thinking about what will it be for the next 15 years, for example, and how will it best serve kind of the knowledge needs of the world. So there is the kind of thinking around maintaining the knowledge of the world and for the world beyond just kind of keeping the content of Wikipedia. So there is there's a lot of thinking currently around sources and how things are cited on Wikipedia and how that's kind of a valuable resource in itself. And to kind of quote a lofty strategy phrase, we want Wikipedia to be a hub of federated, trusted knowledge ecosystem. So it's kind of about global structure of knowledge and our kind of contribution to that, rather than just thinking about Wikipedia as a separated kind of space. And it's about having Wikipedia as this kind of repository of sources, thinking how we can work with partners that have sources and technical solutions to enrich that resource, and also play a part in the kind of fact-checking work that's going on at the moment, especially in the context of fake news. I don't know if anybody has seen that Facebook uses Wikipedia to support the news stream. Google uses it a lot as well, and I think probably other big sites also. So it's kind of about that sort of side of knowledge maintenance and fact-checking and making sure that the content that we have is true and factual. And this is, I realize this graph isn't really perfect because it doesn't really explain what's going on, but in essence, this is just to illustrate that there is more and more kind of publications linked from Wikipedia, and there's also a big increase in how citations are used on the site, and this all fits into this kind of larger, supporting the larger knowledge ecosystem thinking. So that's kind of what I wanted to share, and then I have a few general thoughts to leave you with. In the context of this kind of reimagining of Wikipedia and the community and where it's all going. So a lot of the community wants to include new forms of knowledge, for example, oral history, or just ways that aren't knowledge that isn't captured in a traditional sort of way. But how can we do that? Well, at the same time, there's this core community of volunteers, and there's a lot of standards. I mean, I've just shown you a snippet of the policies. There's loads more. So how do we kind of honor this want to capture more of human knowledge and reconcile that with the existing very high standards? The other thing is, as there was kind of more and more focus on maintenance and quality, there was more and more rules. This means that it's actually quite hard to become a new editor, because what you might experience is go in, do a bit of editing, and the only comments, the only feedback that you'll get is that edit being taken down and a link. You must read this policy first, and then you'll go to one of those sites that I've shown you, and that's not a very good newbie experience, which means that the community isn't very diverse at the moment, and there's many problems around that. There's a lot of thinking around how people's knowledge needs are different these days. People, for example, consume much more knowledge on mobile, and the Wikipedia pages aren't kind of traditionally designed for that. And what do we do about that? And then also, I guess, as I said just now, Wikipedia does seem to be this potential tool for fighting fake news. However, the platforms that are using Wikipedia for that don't seem to be giving as much money. And I don't know if this is going to resonate, but a lot of the community kind of feels that there is a lot of work, free work, volunteer work that has been done in maintenance and creating of knowledge that's now perhaps being exploited a little bit, even if it's for the good of the whole world and for the fight of fake news. So I don't have any particular answers to any of those tensions, but I thought I'll throw them in to think about as we drink coffee. Thank you.